So let me clarify a little. Of course, Garbage Man's here. Garbage Man's here. No, you take your time. Take your time.
3, 2, 1, bro.
What's up, everybody? My name is Nick Murphy. I'm one half of the Brothers Murph, and this is Metagame Minute. Metagame Minute is a twice-weekly segment where Mike and I talk about anything we want to talk about in gaming at that exact moment. This week, I want to talk about games that you're maybe a little nervous to bring out to a group of people. Now, that's kind of a weird sentence, so let me clarify a little farther. These are games that you're a little nervous to bring out for a group of people, and it could be for a variety of different reasons. Now, I will say, these are the two reasons that I'm not saying. I'm not saying because of the weight of the game, like you're worried that they can't handle a game that heavy. I'm not talking about that. And I'm also not talking about the theme. Because it could be like, oh, this person really doesn't like Vikings, so I'm not going to bring out a Viking game. I'm also not talking about that. I'm talking about different other reasons. And a good example for that for us is a game called The Others. The Others is a big game from Simon and Eric Lang and stuff like that. But it's a game about these like demonic demons that represent one of the 7 sins and stuff like that. And so, like, the theme already is pretty controversial. Some people, especially if you're very religious, would not want to like play as one of the 7 sins, and I get that. But this is more for the artwork. The artwork is by Adrian Smooth. His artwork's very, very good, but a lot of his artwork, particularly a lot of his like demon monster artwork, is pretty gross. And that's just how that dude's art is, and that's totally fine. I have nothing against his art, and I actually don't mind it too much. But it's one of those things where I'm like, are people going to get grossed out by this game? Like, the theme is already kind of controversial, but that's, again, not what I'm talking about. But, like, the art, especially of all the demons and, like, the ones, like, the art that represents, like, lust or sloth or something like that, it's kind of these big, gross, like, tentacle monster things, and they're objectively disgusting. And that's kind of where I'm always, like, tentative. I'm like, is this going to be too much? Is this going to be, I don't really know how people are going to handle this kind of art if they're having to look at it all the time like this. And that's kind of a weird thing, but that is what I'm talking about in this. It's like something kind of out of the ordinary that is causing you to be a little bit hesitant about bringing it out. For the others, it's actually not so much the theme as it is the art. Because sometimes I look at the art and I'm like, dude, that's freaking gross. Another example of a game is Cash and Guns. Cash and Guns is a great little party game where everyone gets these rad foam guns. Wait, where's my gun? Oh. Nailed it. You get these cool things, these sweet foam guns, and they have the little orange tip. Sorry, I'm flipping you off there. They have a little orange tip here, so you can see that they're obviously not real guns, but I don't think anyone would think these are real. But nonetheless, you have these cool guns, and essentially it's a kind of push your luck-ish type game, where at one time everyone's going to point the gun at someone else, and you're going to have to then decide whether or not you think that person is going to shoot you. Because everyone has a deck of cards, and the cards either say click or they say bang, I believe. And if they say bang, that means the person shot you. If they say click, that means the person was bluffing. But you have to sit there and decide whether or not you decide to essentially take cover. If you take cover, you won't get shot if it's a bang, but you also won't get the loot that is in the middle of the table. If you get shot or if you take cover, you don't get any loot at the end of the game. Whoever has the most money in loot wins the game. So you want to stay in, but you also don't really want to get shot because you can die and get eliminated from the game, all this kind of stuff. So now why I'm always kind of like, is this going to work? It's because of these. It's not so much the guns, it's the fact that you're just pointing them at people you a lot of times don't really know. This is a game, especially with like newer people, especially if I don't know them very well. I'm like, is this too much for me to be like, I'm gonna freaking kill you? Like, if you don't know someone, that can be really weird if they're just a gun right in their face and you're just like, yeah, do it, take cover, see what happens. I think that might be a little much for some people. So this is a game that while I really, really love this game as a party game, it's one of those ones that I'm always kind of like, is this too much? Is this too much to just be pointing guns in strangers' faces and screaming at them a lot? And I think it's a pretty harmless game that's usually almost always goes over really well, but there's always that little bit of like, is this not gonna work? Is this not gonna work? So those are 2 examples of different reasons of why you might be hesitant to bring games out in front of people. That's not because of how heavy it is, not because of a theme that's necessarily could potentially be distasteful to them. So let me know down in the comments below if there's any games that you're hesitant to bring out in front of people because of something that's not the weight and not the theme, but a different reason. You're like, or it might be a location. Maybe your game group takes place in a church and you don't want the pastor or someone who works in the church to walk by your guys' game group and see you all like, So let me know down in the comments below. And until next time, whether you just are like, screw it, I'm bringing out every game for anyone, I don't care. Or you're a little cautious because of, variables and such. Remember, the more meta, the more better. Lit.
If you already subscribed, go away. You already subscribed. You don't need anything here. Well, what if you do? What if there's something special you haven't heard about, like our sponsorship by Restoration Games? No, you know that already. Is it new videos, like all these new videos over here? No, you know that already. Oh, but it might be something else. Oh, no. Wait. Oh!